All right, for the headings and the steps that you're going to be creating, this is going to be a little bit different for each person. But what I've done is I've created a document here that already has numbers, has the word heading, and then has some placeholder text. What you're going to do is you're going to want to, in this section, go ahead and copy that. Go ahead and change the heading to whatever your step really is. So if it's, I don't know, the word happens to be raise awareness. Then what you would do is you would change based off your planning sheet. Go ahead and type in I cannot type this morning in 4 people. So you're going to type in whatever the thing happens to be. So start with that first. Do that for each one of your headings. If you only have 3 or 4, you can go ahead and delete the 5th. That's fine. So what you're going to then do from here, and I'm just going to use one of these as an example. What you're going to do is you're going to take that and you're going to paste it into this first series of rows here. So what you'll end up doing is you'll end up putting in, and I'm only going to do one of these for right now because I want you to experience how to play around with the type and just experiment a little bit. And then I'll do a quick demo on possible ways to use the character palette to help fancy things up. You will want to mix up your fonts. I mean, for this first one, go ahead and use Myriad. But as you work your way down to make variations, change your fonts up so that yours is a bit more unique and a little bit more interesting so it doesn't look like everybody else's. Not sure why that changed. There we go. Okay, so you'll start with that. So type in your information and then put each one in its own separate box. So again, I'm only going to do this first one. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to potentially play around with how this connects. So I might decide, all right, I'm going to change some things besides just size. I'll probably want to bring my align panel over, set these up. When I highlight these, I can click the bottom to line them up if I want. I can click here, line them up to the left. All right, so there would be one possible way of doing it. Then I'm going to duplicate that. So I would say arrange it in a certain way in this first row and then duplicate them all and move them down to this next one. And now experiment. So now I might decide, okay, first thing I'm going to do is change the font up. And you can experiment a bit with this. I'm going to use the eyedropper to suck up that one right there, although it's not copying. Interesting. For whatever reason, the eyedropper on my computer is not set to number that. Okay. I'm going to change this up and try a different font, something that's a little bit different. All right, so now I'm noticing this is not fitting here. So there's several different ways that I could play around with this. I could shrink the size of this, or if I click here, I can hold down the Shift key and hit Enter. And then I can adjust the leading on this. Leading's right over here, or you can use the Alt key and the up arrow to bring that a little bit closer. So it's don't want it to hyphenate. The hyphen makes it harder to read. All right, so that's a possibility. And then you'll repeat that same thing again for all of those. You'll do it again. After you have played around with several different variations, what you're then going to do is you're going to try to take them and fit those 2 different variations into this smaller amount of space. So see what you can do to arrange these in a way, like for example, copy this. We'll just pretend that I actually made the other 5. So then I would have to figure out a way to be able to get this to fit horizontally. Shrink those. Whoops. Looks like I forgot to grab the first number. Just holding down the shift key when I'm resizing that. I did group them or just by doing this, I didn't group them. I just highlighted across. So then I can see what that looks like when it's all together. Then you're going to do the same thing with the second row of different style that you created. You'll put it in this one. And then you'll take those same ideas and try running them vertically and seeing how to get the spacing and things to work right. So big picture, you're typing in the headings, you're typing in the text for each step, and you're using this first row for one style, this second row for another style, and this third row for a third style. Once you have all of those laid out the way you want, then you're going to transfer them into this smaller space and kind of experiment to see what does it look like when it's smaller, both horizontally, and then working with it so that it is vertical. All right, in the next video, I'm going to go through and do some very fast speed variations on these, but that is the basic assignment. So definitely ask me questions because I'm not showing you every single thing. So I want to make sure that if you have questions, I can answer them. All right.